you very much. The president, as we know, laid out a very ambitious agenda on Tuesday night in the State of the Union address. But he's facing big Republican majorities, and the man in charge of trying to change that in the next election cycle is, of course, the head of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, New York Congressman Steve Israel. Congressman Israel joins us now from Capitol Hill.
How are you?
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's talk about the challenge, because it was a lot more civil on Tuesday. This may have been a one-off deal with people joining each other and crossing the aisle. But basically, if we were to see the real alignment, that map of the House floor is basically all red.
Well, look, the State of the Union was wonderful. Democrats sat with Republicans. Republicans sat with Democrats. It's not where you sit that's important. It's where you stand. And to win this House back, Democrats will continue to stand with middle-class families, with working families. And we have a path to get those 25 seats that we had. And it's not just how we win, it's why we win. If there's any doubt as to why Democrats need to take back the majority, let me just share with you something that just came out this morning, where the chairman of the Republican conference in the House is saying that the Republicans want to force seniors off of Medicare and onto private vouchers. Now, if there were ever an argument for Democrats to regain the majority of the House of Representatives, it's the argument that the Republicans are making, that Medicare should be ended as we know it, and it should be privatized.
Well, at the same time, Democrats have been saying to the Republicans, okay, you want to repeal health care, what are you going to replace it with, and what are you going to do about budget changes, and, get specific. So at the same time you're asking them to get specific, the minute they get specific, you guys are going to pounce.
No. Well, as long as we are protecting middle-class families, as long as we are protecting working families, as long as we are helping small businesses to innovate and create jobs, we'll work with them. But there are some lines in the sand, I have to be honest. And one of the lines in the sand is the privatization of Social Security and Medicare. They have called for it this morning. 2 days after the State of the Union, they have said job one is not to create jobs, but to privatize Medicare. And we're going to stand firmly against that.
You've been quoted, I think today, as saying that you are Rahm Emanuel without the curse words. Rahm, of course, one of your predecessors in the campaign cycle. Although you do curse sometimes, you acknowledge. So how would you describe yourself in the sort of management style you're going to bring to this task of trying to not only regain, well, you lost 63 seats. As you pointed out, 25 seats would be the big difference, though.
Yeah, look, we need 25 seats to win the House of Representatives back for the middle class and working families. And, it's not my style that's important. It's how we put this House in play and why it's important for Democrats to take the majority. Rahm Emanuel, I worked with him. I worked under him at the DCCC. He was aggressive. I've been in New York politics with Chuck Schumer. He's aggressive. I kind of have that sense of assertiveness, but again, without some of the curse words, with a little bit of a smile. Rahm won the House back. Chuck Schumer won the Senate. I hope to have the same success as they did.
Well, Steve Israel, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we look forward to talking to you a lot in this next couple of years as you work on that.
Thanks, Andrea.
The South African government today is downplaying an overnight hospital stay of